Chibi Robo is a hygiene adventure game by Skip Limited about a little robot who plays therapist for a struggling married couple, a little frog girl Therian, and all the sentient toys they own between them. My first experience with Chibi Robo was around St. Petersburg, Florida at a demo kiosk in a Best Buy. I don't know why, but I was instantly enamored by the character design. I mean, I know why, he's adorable. But something about this dude consumed my thoughts for a while. In the coming months before I finally got to play this game, I drew this little guy all over my notebook in school, right next to my Mr. Saturn comics. But long before I started drawing the little cartoon horsies. Miyamoto agreed about the design when he saw Chibi Robo in development and signed on as a producer, and took the publishing rights while he was at it. They basically redesigned the game from scratch when he got on board. Originally it was going to be about Chibi Robo setting traps in a home invader scenario, and you would use a pointer to suggest things to him, kinda like Pac-Man 2. Anyway, at one point my grandfather took me to a used game store and I told him I wanted a game called Chibi Robo. I still have it. It was only about $4. Keep in mind, this was 17 or 18 years ago, so adjusting for inflation, this game should only run you about $8 or $9. As a miniature robot manufactured by the corporation Citrusoft, Chibo's primary function is to make people happy by performing mundane tasks like cleaning stains or picking up trash. But the dysfunctional Sanderson family, daughter Jenny and parents George and Helen, has bigger concerns. Talks of divorce, an irresponsible husband, persecution, constant financial problems. Really is like 2006 again. George is a layabout. Not quite a deadbeat, but he spends most of his time on the couch when he's not buying himself toys. Helen is supposed to be the overworked, underappreciated mother who serves as the emotional core of the family, but I feel like her relationships with Jenny and the dog Tao make her seem like more of an asshole than the writers intended. She's always complaining about the fucking dog, getting things dirty. Like, what did you expect? And Jenny, well, the first scene of the game starts on her birthday party, just in time for presents. The only people at this party besides Jenny are her parents. And the dog, but I think counting him makes it look worse. There's no extended family and there are no friends. Her first gift is a hat from her mother, intended to replace her cool frog hood. Her second gift is a dog bone, from the dog. Her third gift is Chibi Robo himself, but she doesn't even get to open the box. George does it because he bought Chibi Robo for himself, and he used the party as an excuse to do it. Her final gift is from Chibi Robo. He walks across the table, pulls a flower out of a vase, and hands it to Jenny. And she's elated, because this is the first selfless gift she's gotten at this birthday party, and maybe her entire life. After the party, you enter the basic gameplay loop. Walk around the house, clean things, and pick up items that clean things better. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'm ready. The day-night cycle can be changed by buying timers from the Chibi shop. It starts at 5 minutes each and can be increased to 10 or 15. I'm not really sure why there's even an option. I can't imagine going all the way up to Jenny's room and making any decent progress in only 5 minutes. I think it simply wouldn't leave you enough time to explore. Because Chibo is so small, it takes a lot of effort to get around the house. You gotta climb up ropes, open drawers to make steps. You can't even access most of the living room without more tools. You'll also meet the first of the toys tonight. Sophie, a caterpillar dog toy with a crush on Drake Redcrest, a superhero action figure. This is where the adventure game puzzle solving comes into play. To access the kitchen, you need to use the costume you get from Drake to scare Sophie out of the doorway. Chibi Robo has all sorts of little leaps of logic like this. Hence hygiene adventure. Exploring the house, talking to NPCs, and solving their problems is the real meat of this game. The cleaning is just how you level up your Chibi Robo. By hitting certain thresholds of happy points, Chibo will climb the ranks of all Chibi Robos, and at certain milestones you'll earn bigger batteries so you can do more before plugging in. What the fuck? Where did that come from? Chibo didn't deserve that, he just got his shit rocked for no reason. You'll also earn money by cleaning, but you'll need a lot of it, and it doesn't really become super useful until later. It's kinda strange how much focus is placed on the Sandersons' financial struggles when you spend over $1,000 of their own money over the course of the game. Maybe Helen was right about him. Money was actually such an important thematic through line that at some point in development you were going to have to pay for every watt you charged. Speaking of money, at the top I said this game should only cost you about, quote, $8 or $9. Like many things I say, that was simply a hilarious joke for those who are in the know. In reality, a copy of Chibi Robo can cost upward of $150. Ethically, I can't recommend buying this game. Its sole release was on GameCube, so there are no other options for purchase. If you do purchase it, all the money goes to some loser on eBay who probably got the game for $4 like I did. It's nothing but a collector's item in a deteriorating format. Unfortunately, I also cannot legally recommend pirating this game. And what's worse, I couldn't even stop you if you tried. Anyway, if you go long enough without plugging in, Chibo fucking dies. The devs were generous enough to just have him respawn at the Chibi house with a new costume to boot. There are a ton of costumes in this game, and a lot of them will get reactions from different NPCs. Later on, you'll unlock the pajamas, which let you change day to night, and also change his name from Chibi Robo to Sleepy Robo. Saving the time skip ability for later is a good way of forcing the player to have a diverse array of goals, instead of focusing on a single side quest. I think the frog suit is the drippiest and the coolest because it lets you talk to frogs, Jenny included. This is why I've been calling her a Therian and not a furry. Chibi Robo is only a GameCube game, but I think its art style has aged wonderfully, especially compared to its contemporaries. The bright colors and loud patterns on the human characters' clothes are dope, and besides the racially motivated private military company, every character has a unique silhouette and voice. Actually, there's a lot of detail to the sound design. Chibo's steps play notes of a random instrument based on the ground, forming a melody over the usually simple background music. Each of his tools plays a different riff, like the brush's strings or the spoon's little piano. And when he keeps knocking the spoon into the ground, it kinda looks like he's playing a standing bass. When you pick up your plug, you move faster, and the background music speeds up to match. Almost every movement Chibo can make has a unique sound, like the little scratches when he scrambles on top of ledges, or the repeating escalation of notes when he climbs a rope. Chibi Robo's sound designer Hirofumi Taniguchi said,
"I tried to create unique sound patterns, as much as I could, for each character's sound effects. I tried to put in interesting elements that can make people laugh or grin. All system sounds are created by voices. It's an effective way of differentiating the game from other games. My goal is to create sounds and music that bring experiences and impressions that are somehow comforting to players."
It's obvious Taniguchi had a lot of creative freedom in his role, and that he was passionate about what he was doing with Chibi Robo. The sound design is essential to Chibo's identity, and frankly, I don't know if the game would be nearly as fondly remembered without it. The save screen always scared the shit out of me, not because it was creepy or anything, but because it always shows up with a noise that sounds like the disk drive going fucking nuts. I was afraid my GameCube was struggling to save under the sheer weight of Chibi Robo. It wasn't until I played on Dolphin with headphones on I realized it was an in-game noise. There's actually a ton to this game that I've hardly touched on. When I first started writing this video over a year ago, I wanted to make a fucking hour and a half long definitive video on Chibi Robo, but I got bored of recapping footage, so I made this one instead, and I'm glad I did. There are just a ton of bizarre surprises and hidden pieces of side content in Chibi Robo. Explaining everything in detail would impact the experience of playing it yourself. I think every toy is involved in some kind of side quest, many of which require poking around the world and hoping something might happen if you show something to someone at the right time. The exploration and discovery are surprisingly rewarding, especially for a game that really isn't that big. I always thought of Pikmin and Chibi Robo as occupying a similar niche. You know, they're both obscure. At least Pikmin used to be obscure. GameCube games about being a little guy, about the difficulties of being real small. They both feature very simple character designs and misappropriations of everyday objects. The plug coming out of Chibi's ass is kinda similar to the leaf on a Pikmin. They both work on day-night cycles, so day planning is important. When I was a kid, I would draw Chibi Robo in different colored pencils and assign elements to them, like how kids have been writing their own Pikmin fan games for 20 years. Anyway, I don't actually have a point here. I just really like Pikmin.